Brook's flashback is over. We were unfortunately right about Shuri's lineage and poor Candle. 2 major reveals happened on top of that, and I have an idea about the I one in particular. Imu's been scheming for a long time and doing so many horrible things it made Luffy's finally showing up and rocking his ass feel even more cathartic. Let's discuss all of this and more in the breakdown. Oh, and this is the part where you drop a like and tell me I'm pretty. So while I don't always acknowledge the cover photo, today we must. Because, I know it's an art request, but I don't care what you say, this is 110% canon for me. You cannot tell me this is not an exact scenario Loki probably found himself in at one point. It's so adorable. He obviously loved Ida so much, and he tried so hard to pretend that he didn't, but she knew better, and I just think their whole dynamic was absolutely beautiful. So for me, this is a 10 out of 10 cover page. Anyway, we pick up right where we left off. Brook in a shock at what he's seeing. His king dead, his princess transformed into a devil, and a monster in the corner of the room. All of this to a man that we later learned had never even heard of devil fruits at this point in his life. Brook really thinks he's going insane here. This is just an actual nightmare for him, and it's so tragic seeing him shake the king and scream for the medics, not being able to accept that he's long dead at this point. But the bombshells keep coming. From Shuri herself, nonetheless, and now we know who her real father is, which is Saint Manmayer Gudo. We'll figure it out. And he's a member of the Holy Knights. You see, we were right about what happened to Candle. Imu never actually wanted 1,000 slaves. He just wanted Shuri because of her bipolar irises, they called them, which her father, Gudo, that's what I got it.
This is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
He also has the eyes, right? But apparently he was never able to awaken them. But they are something that Imu desires, so they came to claim Shuri. Of course, Leuven, her father, refused to give her up, and thus this war began. And it's heartbreaking with Shuri being possessed, listening to her insult the man who, yes, may not have been her father, but who was also quite clearly her father. Blood matters very little. It's about who's there and who loves you, and he loved her enough to risk his entire nation to keep her away from them. And to add insult to injury, Shuri then stabs Brook right through the skull, and once again, when he was a child, he's singing to himself as he begins to lose consciousness. The song about how only bones will be left behind. And so, once again, more tragedy for poor Brook. He then wakes up in the infirmary, alive and well, and they say he was stabbed through the skull, but his vital bits were all missed. Which tells us, just like on Elbaf, Shuri is still in there somewhere, and she spared him on purpose. But before we move on, let's pop on over to the theory corner, because I think I got the eyes thing figured out. Alright, so in the previous chapter, or maybe the chapter before there was a break week, I don't remember, but I'm sure you guys remember that Shuri, when she's training with Brook, he mentions that it's she can see the future sometimes. And well, I believe that the eyes she has, those bipolar irises, may indeed grant her the ability to see the future, and more so than future sight does, when it's fully awakened, maybe allowing Imu to peer even years into the future. And with us being on Elbaf and Loki and the Norse mythology at play, it really does remind me of Odin and his insane quest for knowledge out of fear of his eventual death. So yeah, I could really see Shuri having the ability to see in the future. Probably, maybe, perhaps, yeah. That's the theory. After waking up, they tell Brook the king is dead. Shuri has been taken, and many of the civilians have already fled in search of a nation that's willing to take them in. And this news obviously makes Brook cry, which is where his flashback ends and cuts back to him in the present, crying just like he was then. which, like, now he knows enough to understand that Shuri is indeed just another victim in all of this, and now he just wants to save her. So despite what she's done on Elbaf and to his friends that she hurt, he bows his head and asks her for help to save his princess. Before he can raise his head, though, the Straw Hats, tears in their eyes, much like Brook, are ready to fight and die to save Princess Shuri. And I mean, of course, that was gonna be the response. This is the Straw Hats we're talking about. They ride or die for their Nakama. But still, it was such a beautiful moment. And I love Frankie crying and telling him that he will melt the ice with the radical beam in an instant. And they all rush to save Shuri. And that's when we cut back to our long-lost captain, Monkey D. Luffy, who has finally finished gorging himself, but says he feels like no one can stop him. And since whoever this dude is got beef with Elbaf, that means he got beef with Luffy. So he dips out, ready to run the ones with Imu, but before he gets there, we get a very interesting exchange between Imu and Loki. So Imu tells Loki that history is always bound to repeat itself, that 800 years ago the giants suffered defeat to save their children, and that mere centuries isn't long enough for a race to change their nature. All Imu has to do is abduct the children and he wins. And since the children are just about to be caught, he says it's over and they are already his slaves. And before Loki can even piece together what Imu is talking about, our boy, the GOAT, Monkey D. Luffy, comes in with a disgusting right hook and rocks Imu's shit, y'all. And he tells him to get the hell out of Elbaf right now. And what an incredible way to end the chapter. Imu's so smug in his plan. He believes everything will play out the way that it did last time, but he didn't account for the wild card that is Luffy and his band of raving lunatics that he calls Nakama. That nasty punch he delivered is a statement. It's a wrench in what Imu thinks is a perfect plan. A message that the dawn is coming and there's not a damn thing he can do about it. This chapter was amazing. I loved Brook's flashback. And like, what do y'all think about Shuri's eyes? Do you think I might be spot on with the ability to see the future, or do you think it's something else? And sorry for the delay on this one. I wanted to wait for the official release due to all the major reveals. I just wanted to cross my T's, dot my I's, that sort of thing. Bounce between both translations, you know, see if I can make more sense of all of it. But yeah, I've also been trying to make more regular content, so thanks to everyone who's stuck with me. And yeah, that's all for today. So until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya!